Welcome back to Timeout with J and G. It's Jay over here. It's G over there.
Yo, what is going on, everyone?
And today we are back with episode 2 of our ranking every position. Today we are ranking our top 10 shooting guards list. And I think I can speak for both of us when this was a tough list. This was a tough list to put together. We were still trying to hold on to the same rules we had for the point guard list, where you had to play at least 50 games. Spoiler alert: there's one player in here that did not play 50 games for either one of us. Just one player though. We tried. It's just the shooting guard list was kind of rough this season. Let's be honest. It was.
Oh yeah, it was rough.
Yeah, we talk like you have your guys at the top, but like the back half of this list was like, okay, this guy can go here, I guess. Like on a normal like I'll just be candid with you. Zach LaVine's not on our list. He only played 20-some games. Like you can't be a top 10 shooting guard if you play 20-some games. The guy we did have in there played 42 games, so at least he didn't play 50, but he played about a game over half the season. So I guess you just kind of have to give him that. Yeah. This might be a list you guys might heavily disagree with the bottom half, and that's okay. I don't think Levi are going to be upset if you disagree with this list, because I don't think either one of us feel confident in the back half of this list either way.
Yeah, no, I feel like for the back half of both of our lists, it's pretty much just kind of opinion based and kind of like who we could think of and get in the list for the most part.
Yeah. I mentioned it, we talked about it last episode. Kyrie Irving is a shooting guard. Because that's what he plays in a normal lineup, so we moved him from the point guard to the shooting guard. Zach LaVine's not going to be on the list. Paul George, for some reason, some websites have him listed as a shooting guard. We're going to have him on the small forward list. Same with Jaylen Brown, small forward list. So if you don't hear Paul George or Jaylen Brown or Zach LaVine, you know why. They're either not shooting guards or he only played 20-some games. So is there anything you want to kind of talk about on hit first before we get up into this list?
Khalil Ware. I understand it's just the summer league, but Khalil Ware has been shown out for the Heat in their summer league games.
Mm-hmm.
Zach Edey, he's been playing pretty good for the Memphis during the summer league. Him and Walker Kessler had a battle, I think it was last night, going back and forth a little bit, so that was exciting to watch.
Bronny James. Yeah.
Bronny James.
No, we don't have to get into all that. But yeah, no. Summer League starting. I mean, the season, we still got a couple months before the season starts. But what is it? Training camp for the NFL starts within soon. Training camp starts soon, and then pretty soon we'll be into August. And then at the end of August is when we have the Hall of Fame game, and then preseason starts. So the NFL, man, like a month or two away. It's getting close.
Hey, it's getting close, and also we have the Olympics.
Yeah, the Olympics.
The men's Olympic team.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one right now. I mean, it's got a lot of stars. It's our revenge team, redeem team kind of thing. So I'm excited for it, man. Excited.
I am too.
Well, let's go ahead and get this list over with. People aren't going to like it, but that's okay with me. That's okay with me. Number 10, man. We'll just go ahead and get started. Number 10, who do you got?
I have Austin Reeves at number 10.
That's okay.
It's just trying to find guys that fit the requirements to fit in here and everything. I know I probably should have put, the guy that didn't meet the requirements, but Austin Reeves had a good season on a Lakers team that is still trying to find their stride in chasing another championship. He did play good. I mean, just some people could argue he shouldn't be on the list. This person should be on here, but I think he deserves to be top 10 in my opinion.
He's on my list. He's a little bit higher than yours, but not much higher than what you have him at. He's on my list. I at number 10 have Dante DiVincenzo. I mean, he became. I'm not gonna sit here and say he became a star when he got to New York. I just kicked the hell out of my desk. I'm not gonna sit here and say that he became a star when he got to the Knicks, because he didn't. But man, he really took over that starting shooting guard role and flourished. He had some really, really big games, especially when we got up into the playoffs. That last game of the season, I think he had like 30-some points, before they got eliminated, obviously, when they were just so down bad with injuries. He really stepped up and showed that, he's not going to be a star. He's not going to be an all-star, but like, hey, I can go out here and I can get you a couple games. Like I can have a big game here. He played 81 games, which is a really big deal, almost 30 minutes a game. He averaged, what was that? He averaged about 15 and a half points, a steal and a half, almost 3 assists. You know what I mean? Like just defensively, he's not the. I'm not gonna say he's a great defender, but he's able to get in passing lanes, get those kind of pick steals. He can stay in front of people, and again, he's able to shot create, all over the court, shoot the three ball. He shot, what was that? I just had it here. He shot 40% from three this year, and that's on 8 points, almost 9 attempts a game. He's able to really space the floor out for him, stretch the floor, do whatever he need to do. And again, I had some really big games in the playoffs that led them to getting into the second round.
100%. That brings me to number 9. I have Dante DiVincenzo.
Okay.
And I have him over Austin Reeves mainly because of the big playoff performances that he did have and
That's
how
fair.
he kind of helped will that Knicks team on. I mean, like you said, shot over 40% from 3 on 8-9 attempts. I mean,
Yeah.
he's out there slinging that thing.
Yeah. I have Austin Reeves at 9, so we just had him flip-flopped.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are so interchangeable. I mean, Austin Reeves averaged 16 points, 4 rebounds, 5.5 assists, and passes the ball a little bit better than Dante does. And again, just I don't know. He's a good player. Like, he played all 82 games. That's something you don't see a lot. So you gotta kind of take that as you go with that kind of thing. He shot here I can pull it over here again. About 37% on only 2 attempts a game. So does not shooting the ball nearly as much as a guy like Dante DiVincenzo is. But Austin Reeves is definitely a little bit more of a shot creator than a guy like Dante is. He also plays with LeBron, so he demands the ball. I mean, Jalen Brunson demands the ball a lot, but he's got LeBron and AD on his team, so they demand the ball a lot. So it's understandable his shot attempts aren't as high, but he scores more on less shot attempts. So you kind of have to, that's where I give him that edge over a guy like Dante. But again, those guys are like so close to each other that 9 and 10. There's nothing much to really argue there.
Yeah, I feel like some of these players you could easily just switch and be interchangeable.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what's your number 8?
But number 8 is the guy I mentioned at the start of the episode that did not meet the games requirements, only played 42 games, but it is Desmond Bane. I know we kind of talked about it. He averaged about almost 24 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, 5.5 assists. And I mean, for this Memphis team just had a lot going on this year with the Ja Morant just situation. They just weren't good. They had a lot of injuries. Marcus Smart was injured. Jaren Jackson Jr. missed some time. And then obviously Desmond Bane missed half the season. So this Memphis team just had nothing going on for it. But when Desmond Bane was on the court, he was still good. I mean, he shot 38% from 3, which was a career low. But he was also on the most attempts, almost 9 attempts a game. And again, he didn't have Ja Morant next to him. Didn't really have Jaren Jackson for a lot of it. He had nobody to really take the pressure off of him. So I understand that his shooting percentage is going to go down a little bit. He had to be more of a primary guy. But 5.5 assists is a career high by over an assist. Yeah, I mean, he's just 24 points per game is his highest. Just had career years in pretty much everything except for the shooting percentage. But again, I don't think he was getting more closely guarded than he would on a normal season.
Oh, 100%, and I have Desmond Bane at number 8 too.
Okay.
Like you said, just career highs across the board. Shooting percentage went down, but when you take more attempts and you get the main focus of the defense, there's a chance that you're not going to be able to make the attempts and the shots that you would normally make. You know what I mean?
100%.
So your percentages will go down. I mean, I feel that Memphis team didn't have a lot to it. Let's be honest here, going through the season.
Not at all.
I feel like Desmond Bane really showed out what he can do, and I'm excited for next season.
All right, who do you have at number 7?
At number 7, I have Scotty Barnes.
Oh, okay. I have him a little higher. Okay.
Yeah, so I have Scotty Barnes. He averaged about 20 points per game, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, about a steal and a block and a half, shot about 34% from 3, his career high. He had a really good year on a team that wasn't so good, kind of like with the Desmond Bane thing, but Desmond Bane had teammates that were normally injured that would probably be top 10 at their position. Scotty Barnes, he still had a really good year, and I'm excited for what he can do next year. I feel like he can average over 25 a game next season.
Definitely. No, I agree. Especially in no Pascal, no OG. It's his team now. They're building it around him.
Yeah, he's the guy now.
At number 7, this is where I have Derek White. And some people might say it's a little low, But again, I kind of have to revolt, kind of go back to something I said last episode, where it's like a lot of these guys. I mean, I'm gonna say a lot of these guys, but a good amount of these guys are the number one options on their team. Like guys like DiVincenzo, Reeves, and Bane, they aren't. But once we get higher up in this list, a lot of these guys become number one options, and Derek White is just unfortunately like the fourth option on that team. Like he's just, at least offensively, I should say. Offensively, he's like the fourth option on that team, where it's like you kind of have to. Unfortunately, kind of goes against him a little bit. But he made all defensive team. Was he on the second team? I'm pretty sure. So
I believe so, because this was the first year they went positionless. I'm pretty sure like all forwards and centers made the first team.
So he averaged 15 points, a little over 4 rebounds, a little bit over 5 assists, made an all-defensive team. I mean, he was a big, big key piece in the Celtics winning the championship this year. He really became – he got all-star buzz this year, which was something, which was definitely crazy.
Yeah, he made all defensive second team, and he was 8th for Depoy.
Yeah, he shot all but 40% from 3 on almost 7 attempts a game. He really became a guy that could knock down shots this season, where it's always been something he struggled with for most of his career, was knocking down perimeter shots. He just really kind of evolved into this ultimate Swiss Army knife for the Boston Celtics, where he can just kind of guard multiple positions, and now you can rely on him to consistently hit a jump shot. It's like giving Marcus Smart a jump shot, a consistent jump shot, man. It's huge for the Celtics.
Yeah, it's pretty lethal.
And Derek White is my number 7.
All right, I guess my turn for 6.
Sure thing. Or if you want me to do my 6, I can do my 6.
You can do your 6.
All right, let's see if I can pull up his stats here. My number 6 is DeJounte Murray.
Nice.
And I understand right now, or at least after the season he had, DeJounte Murray might be a little bit of a surprise to be higher up on this list, especially over a guy like Derek White. And I understand that to a degree. I also look at the workload of DeJounte Murray and know that it's higher than a guy like Derek White. So that's why I kind of give him a little bit of a pass. 22.5 points, almost 23 points, over 5 rebounds, 6.5 assists. It's kind of tough. Statistically, he was pretty good for the Hawks. It didn't really work on the floor with Trae Young and the rest of the team, and the fit was a little weird, and that's kind of what it's bringing him down the list. But like statistically, individually wise, he had a pretty good season. I mean, he had a career high in points. He had a steal and a half a game. He had a career high in, what was the other one here? I had it pulled up here. Maybe that was the only career high. I could have swore that was could have swore. Oh, 3-point percentage. About a little bit over 36% from 3 on 7 attempts. So he was the highest percentage of his career on the most attempts in his career. Like, he really showed that DeJounte Murray is still a damn good basketball player. The situation in Atlanta was weird. It was rough. And we'll see what he kind of does now in the Pelicans when he has the ball in his hand a little bit more often. They still have Zion. They still have Brandon Ingram at this moment. So it's like, okay. But, like, he could run a team. We all know, like, he's not the DeJounte Murray we knew from the first season or two defensively. He has, ever since his workload on offense has picked up, his defense has went down slightly. But he's still a good defender. Like, he can still get down in the chair, and he can still defend. And, you know, I think defense is a very, like, mindset type of thing. And if you're on this Hawks team where they're just not defending anything, if I'm DeJounte, I'm not going to defend. Why am I going to defend if nobody else on my team is defending? And I wonder if now that he's on the Pelicans, I don't know if we're ever going to see him on an all-defensive team again like he was early in his career. But I definitely could see him becoming one of the better perimeter defending, like just getting back to being a good or even great perimeter defender again.
100%. I have DeJounte Murray at 6'2".
Heck yeah.
I mean, obviously, the DeJounte Murray that we've seen in the last 2 years with the Hawks is not the one that we seen when he was on the Spurs. I mean, his last year on the Spurs, the 21-22 season, he was an all-star. He was second and most improved. Mm-hmm. He averaged 21 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds, 2 steals. I mean, in that year, he did not make an all-defensive team, which I think is a little crazy, but it is what it is. But, like, when he came to the Hawks, he still had a good offensive workload, but he was also next to Trae Young.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he had to defer to that 2-guard because, obviously, it's Trae Young.
Yeah.
And I feel, and once he gets to the Pelicans and, like you say, gets that number 1, like, he is the point guard. Mm-hmm. There's no trying to split or anything. CJ goes to the 2, he goes to the 1. I feel like you're going to see that the assist numbers go up from where they are. I'm talking like maybe not 20 points, maybe around 11, like 18, 19 points, but like 9, 10 assists.
He
And
had a
maybe,
year where he averaged 9 assists, so like yeah, he could definitely do it.
yeah, his last year on the Spurs, like
Oh yeah.
yeah. And I feel like his defense is going to go back up because of the pieces that are going to be around him at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Yeah. Shout out DeJounte Murray. It's a guy I like, man. I hope he has a good bounce. I say it's kind of hard to say bounce back because like you look statistically, it's one of his better years. But like we all saw how it worked on the court. It just was kind of gross. So hopefully like he can get back and kind of change that public perception of him back into being like an all-star type guard. Maybe he's in the West now, so is he going to make an all-star team? Probably not. But at least one of those guys that or I guess he wasn't the East. Yeah, so he's probably not going to make it in the West. But it's like. At least he's one of those guys that's like, yeah, this guy could be an all-star. Kind of like a Jamal Murray type of guy.
Yeah, like on the fringe towards like, if he has a couple, stellar games, you could throw him in there.
Yeah,
or he could be like one of them alternate players that when
there's just so many
someone's going to sit out.
There's just so many good guards in the West that it's like guys like Jamal Murray just aren't going to make it. And that's okay because we know we know Jamal Murray's an all-star caliber player. There's just so many good guards in the West, you can't put them all in. And I think DeJounte Murray can get himself back into that conversation where it's like, listen, he's an all-star talent. It's just there's so many superstar guards. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Next, I guess that's number 5 already. Okay, number 5 this is where I have Scotty Barnes. Scotty Barnes is an interesting case. He averaged about, like I said, 20 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. I gave him the nod because he is pretty much the number one option, the main option on that Raptors team. I'm sorry, I just completely blanked on that. Completely blanked. But he was an all-star this year. He averaged, again, 20 points was a career high for him. A block and a half, which was a career high for him. 6 assists, a career high. Rebounds, 8, career high. Free throw percentage, 78, career high. What was the other? Field goal percentage was a little bit lower than his career high, but that's okay. 34% on 34% on 5 attempts from 3, career high. Like he played 60 games and was hurt and missed like the end of the season. This dude was really good on a lot of people didn't see him because he's playing on a bad Raptors team. And I think a lot of people that might disagree with Scotty Barnes being on our list or being as high as he is on a couple of our lists, it's like, how much were you guys really watching the Raptors last season? You know what I mean?
Not a whole lot.
Yeah, it's just Scotty Barnes is a really, really good player. Like, he's a guy that can create his own shot and a guy that is trying to become more of a catch-and-shoot player as well for when that Raptors team really gets pieces around him. And I know we were joking around before, like, I kind of just didn't expect him to be listed at the shooting guard. Like, obviously, rookie year Scotty Barnes, I remember him playing the 4 and then him having some time at the 3, and that's just kind of what I think of Scotty Barnes as, like a 3-4 hybrid. But again, no, like they had Pascal for a good part of the season. They have then they ended up getting RJ Barrett and stuff like that. So it's like I guess he's the 2.
Yeah, he did play the 2 for a good bit.
I think he's going to find himself back down to the 3-4, but at least for this season, man.
Yeah, he had a really good season on the Raptors. My number 5 is Derek White.
Okay, you got it.
You can call me a little bit of a homer picking a Boston player at 5, but he was an essential piece to winning that championship team.
Yeah.
Like you said, he shot pretty much a career high from 3, or if not damn near close to it on a lot of attempts. He was honestly one of the better defenders. Like you said, I believe he made an all-defensive second team.
Yep.
And he won a chip. Let's be honest, and he is the 4th option. Let's be honest, he was like the 5th or 4th option on offense. But there were still games to where he went out and he still put up 30, or he put up 20-something points. I mean, not much more I can say about it.
No, he's a big piece for that Celtics team. I mean, if we're talking about impact-wise, yeah, he maybe is a little bit higher on this list, but at the end of the day, and at least in my opinion, your role in the team and your statistics do still play a part in it. So that's kind of why I got him a little bit lower than you do. But again, like you can't talk down on his impact to that team and just what he brings to that team. He turned himself into one of the best perimeter defenders in the league.
100%, and I'm glad he's in Boston.
You're up next for number 4. This is the top 4. I'm assuming we probably have the same 4 names. I'm just curious what order we have them in.
At 4, I have Kyrie Irving.
I also have Kyrie Irving at 4.
The reason I have him at 4 is because he was the second option on a Mavericks team that did make it to the finals.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that. He did play a good part in that, but he wasn't the number one option.
That's
you know
true.
what I mean? And I know it contradicts to what I was saying about Derek White, but at this point, it's kind of just like when you have, obviously, we all know the top 4, but Kyrie being the number 2, being a really good number 2, probably
Mm-hmm.
the best, probably arguably the best number 2 in the league. I just cannot put him above the other 3 because the other 3's workload was higher than his. You know what I mean? Or what
Yeah.
they had to do was more than Kyrie because of Luka. You know what I mean? But Kyrie had an amazing season, made it to the finals once again. I hope he gets back and I hope he wins another ring.
Yeah, I have Kyrie at 4. I mean, he averaged almost 26 points per game, 5 rebounds, 5 assists as the number 2 option. Like, that's pretty. I mean, it's Kyrie Irving. We know the guy's going to get his buckets. We just know. He shot 41% from 3, which is like 0.04% lower than his career high. So, I mean, damn near a career high from 3. And on attempts, we have 7.3. He shot. I mean, it's Kyrie Irving. He's an efficient scorer, shot over 90% from the free throw line. 5 assists, 5 rebounds. Defensively, Kyrie Irving. I'm not gonna say here. We know Kyrie Irving. He's not exactly a great perimeter defender, but let's be honest, man. That playoff run, man, he became a. I don't want to say lockdown, but he became a pretty damn good defender in that playoff run, and that's a big reason they got to the finals. It's a big reason it pushed Luka to be a better defender. Was that just watching Kyrie Irving, because offensively throughout this entire playoff run, unfortunately Kyrie Irving just kind of struggled. He just really couldn't get the ball in the basket, which is unlike Kyrie Irving. But what we saw Kyrie Irving do was incredible. He said, okay, like, Kyrie's a known scorer. I can't score. I'm going to become a great passer. I'm going to become a great defender. And I'm going to help the team get to the finals. And it's like, that's like insane, because it would have been so easy for Kyrie to be like, I can't score. I'm just not going to do anything. And this Mavericks team doesn't get to the finals if Kyrie Irving doesn't start defending and passing the way he does in that playoff run. Like, he just became a different version of himself. And it really helped the team. And I think that's something that, like, you look at Kyrie Irving from 5 years ago, do you think he does that?
Maybe not.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think we're seeing a big growth in Kyrie Irving. And again, he's in his early 30s now, so it's like, it's kind of understandable. Like, I think we're seeing a big growth into Kyrie becoming a very, very mature all-around player. And I mean, it could be super dangerous. Like, if this is the kind of Irving they get all season next year, and then his shot comes back, because let's be honest, Kyrie Irving, his shot's going to come back. It's Kyrie fucking Irving. He's going to start scoring the ball again. But if he can also still become still consistently be a good passer and a good defender, man, that backcourt's going to be scary as hell again next year.
100% it will be. 100%.
All right.
Now, your number 3?
We have the top 3 here. I have this guy. Yeah. Recency bias might not like me on this one. Number 3, Anthony Edwards.
Oh.
So, I understand. Throughout the playoff run, man, people were already putting him as one of the best players in the league, and I fully understand. We also saw his deficiencies come the end of that playoff run. And it's part of the team too. They become a very, very ISO-heavy team that just cannot score the basketball. And for the last 5 games of that playoff run, he was bad, not good. And it kind of left a bit of a sour taste in my mouth. And maybe I'm doing the opposite. I'm calling out recency bias for putting him so high. Maybe I'm doing the same thing opposite. Maybe I'm letting those last couple games put a bad taste in my mouth and drop him a spot or two than maybe where it should be. But again, top 3 shooting guard in the league. I don't think you're like... I mean, I guess people are going to argue, because if they haven't won, they're going to argue that he should be... That's okay. You're still top 3. And with the 3 guys we have, that I know we have the same 3 guys up top. I'm just assuming by your reaction we have them in different orders.
Yeah.
Like, you're in the company of Devin Booker and Donovan Mitchell, man. That you made it, man. You're up there. You know what I mean? Like, and if you're 3 because you had a rough end to your season, he very well, by the time we do this list next year, could be number 1 by a mile and a half. Like that's how much I do truly believe in Anthony Edwards. He has the physical tools that those other two guys don't have. He's got the defensive tenacity the other two guys don't have. He's got the attitude that like he wants to be the best. That I don't want to say the other guys don't have it, but it's way more apparent with Anthony Edwards. I mean, you saw the comments he made about Team USA about the team runs around him. Like that's some shit Devin Booker and Donovan Mitchell aren't going to come out and say. Like
yeah.
No, I'm just like he's got again, and I don't want to say Devin Booker and Donovan Mitchell don't have the drive to be great because they are great players, but there's just something different about Anthony Edwards. It's like, right now I'm putting him at 3, but it's like I fully believe again by next year he's gonna be number 1, and I can't really say. I mean he ran that Minnesota team for the most part. I understand you have Cat, but it's like listen, coming into the season, I know there were some questions that's like, oh, is it Anthony Edwards? Is it Anthony Edwards' team? Is it Cat's team? By the time we got to the playoffs, it was crystal fucking clear this was Ant's team. You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah. Again, maybe I'm being a little bit of the opposite of recency bias, and like, I don't know what you want to call that, but it's like, I'm putting him at 3. I feel pretty comfortable with him at 3. But like, all 3 of these guys are interchangeable up top. Oh,
I agree with you 100%. And my 3 is Devin Booker.
Oh, okay.
Devin Booker had a good year. He averaged 27 points. He took a step up as a passer, averaged almost 7 assists a game, which is a career high. Mm-hmm. He still struggles on the defensive end, but when you're arguably the number 1 guy on your team, your defense is going to struggle. You know what I mean?
Are you saying he's number 1 guy over Kevin Durant?
Oh, this is his team.
I think there's a difference there. Team. I think there's a difference between it being his team versus him being the best player on the team. Because it is Devin Booker's team, 1,000,000%. Yeah. But it's like, who do you think was better on the Warriors? Do you think it was Steph Curry's team? But who do you think was better, Kevin Durant or Steph Curry?
I think Steph.
Really?
Steph saw a lot more double teams than KD did. People are a lot more scared of Steph than they were KD. I'm gonna be honest.
I can't say you're wrong. But I don't know. I think Kevin Durant's the better player, but I just do think it is Devin Booker's team.
And like I said, arguably he's the 1 of the 2. I feel like in this situation, it's one of them 1A, 1B type deals. 100%. Let me just clarify that. But almost 7 assists a game, that's a career high for him.
Yep.
He stepped up to the point where it's just like, we don't have a point guard. You know what I mean? Let's be honest, they did not have a true point guard.
Not at all.
And I mean, he just learned from CP3, and I mean, I feel like he kind of stepped in and was like, you know what? I got to do what I got to do to try and get this team to where it needs to be. He made all NBA third team. He was an all-star, averaged, like I said, 7 assists. He shot damn near 37% from 3, which is upwards in his career. I mean, he just had a really good year on a Phoenix team that, let's be honest, besides him and KD, not a lot to there. Not a lot to that team.
I agree. What you said, okay, I gave you Anthony Edwards as my number 3. Who do you have in number 2?
I have Donovan Mitchell at number 2.
I also have Donovan Mitchell at number 2.
And Donovan Mitchell, I mean, he basically engineered that Cavs team.
Yeah.
To get them to where they were they a 4 or 5 seed?
Yeah, they were 4. No. Were they a 3 seed?
No,
they played the Magic. I think the Magic dropped to the 6.
No, because then they wouldn't have played the Celtics second round.
Anyway, they were a top 4 seed.
Yeah, top 4 seed. I mean, he engineered the team. I know they had Mobley, they have Allen, they have, I believe, Karis LeVert.
Okay, that's a name.
On the team. Yeah, that's a name. But he engineered this Cavs team to a top 4 seed.
It's kind of funny you mentioned Mobley, Allen, and Karis LeVert, but not Darius Garland.
I'm just trying to name people off the top of my head, all right? I'm not too familiar with the Cavs.
That's okay.
But like, he helped engineer this team to the point where they're at. I believe he got the bag this offseason.
Yes, he did.
So shout out to him.
Staying in Cleveland.
Staying in Cleveland. I don't blame him. For staying. But, number 2, I mean, like you said, these top 3 are interchangeable. However you see it going, however you want it to be, that's pretty much how it is. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, I have him at number 2 as well. I mean, yeah, you kind of said a lot of it. He is that guy on the Cavaliers team, and especially with, I mentioned that you didn't mention Darius Garland, which was funny, but Darius Garland had a rough season. Only 18 points, 6 assists, only 57 games. This was one of Darius Garland's worst seasons in a while, and then Donovan Mitchell was able to kind of take over. I mean, he was always the number one guy on the team, but he was able to really take over responsibilities and be like, okay, my co-star, my counterpart is struggling. I'm really gonna step up, and I'm gonna get you guys. And we're gonna get into the second round. They run into a Celtics team. I don't like the way they play, because I'm pretty sure, didn't they intentionally lose the last game of the season so they did play the Magic, and then that's what made them go against the Celtics? So it's like
they might have.
You could have got it. You could have got a different matchup, and maybe you find yourself deeper into the playoffs. Maybe you find yourself in the conference finals against the Celtics instead of the second round. So you maybe kind of screwed yourself up. But I don't put that on Donovan Mitchell. You know what I mean? But yeah, no. Then he signs a contract. Like he's been arguably the best top 3 shooting guard in the league for, I mean, it's been like 5-6 seasons now. Like it's been a while. He was an all-star this year, you know what I mean? 26 points per game, almost 2 steals a game, which is a career high for him. What was his assist at 6.1, a career high for him. Rebounds 5.1, a career high. Free throw 86%, about a career high. 3-point percentage is 37%, which he's had 2 seasons at 38, but again, 9 attempts a game, 38% or 37%. So yeah, a great season for Donovan Mitchell. Only played in 55 games, so maybe that, maybe he would have had a case for number 1 in my eyes if he would have played 70, 75 games. But when you only play 55 games, you may have to take a little bit of a a downtick in your standings, man. I don't know, man. But so that leaves obviously my number 1 as Devin Booker.
And my number 1 is Anthony Edwards.
I mean, that's I know, like, some place it's Devin Booker's a weird one because he's been a shooting guard his entire career. Some places have him listed at point guard now, and it's like, okay, if you want to disagree with that, that's fine. But yeah, you made it a lot. It is Devin Booker's team. He had a career high in assists. He really took on that role as the primary playmaker for the team. Maybe that's why you would consider him a point guard. That's okay with me. All NBA third team, and it's kind of funny I have a guy on third team over a guy on second team. But it's also okay. Like, I think you have to look at workloads, like you mentioned before about some other player. Like you have to look at what the team has, what he does for the team, and maybe Anthony Edwards had a little bit more of a flashy season with big highlight plays, but Devin Booker was consistently just really freaking good the entire season. And maybe I'm doing a little bit of what's the word? Like a little bit of grandfathering him in, where like he's been the best shooting guard, so I'm just kind of leaving him there for right now. Like with Devin Booker, he's been the best shooting guard in the league for so long that it's like somebody really has to blow me away for me to take him off that top spot.
It's kind of like LeBron with being
yes.
LeBron at the small forward position.
Yeah. For LeBron, again, yeah, and even for like LeBron being the best player in the league talks, he wasn't the best player in the league talks until he was in his late 30s. It's like it's so hard to take a guy out of that talk when, and I mean, even I'm sure now if you ask somebody's still going to say LeBron's the best player in the league. They're just, I don't agree with that anymore. But like, if some people are still going to say it just because it's LeBron, and that's kind of how I am with Devin Booker. Now it's like, I don't have any problem if you want to have Anthony Edwards at 1, or if even I want to have Donovan Mitchell at 1. I'm okay with that too. But like, I'm kind of using that grandfathered in rule where it's like, listen, like, what is it? It's like in 2K rebuilds when you do it, it's like Devin Booker is untouchable as a number 1, and your offer has to blow me away for me to take him off the number 1. That's kind of how I look at Devin Booker right now. And maybe that's a little bit wrong to do, but it's our list, so fuck it. We're gonna do what we want to do.
Yeah, we're gonna do what we want to do, and that's why I have Anthony Edwards at 1.
Yeah.
I mean, 7th in MVP voting. All-NBA second team. He was an all-star. Averaged damn near 26 points. 5 assists, which is a career high for him. 5 rebounds. His three-point shooting did take a little bit of a dip, but he did take less attempts.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I don't know what much more to say about Anthony Edwards with the tangent that you did with you put him in at 3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I was gonna say, like, you're kind of making my case for him at 1. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
Like, I mean, like, he does have that tenacity. He has that defensive aggression that not a lot of these star players have. Like, he wants to be on the defensive end. He wants to guard the other team's best player. You know what I mean? And like you said about the Team USA thing, everyone's got to learn how to play around me. You know what I mean? Obviously, presumably, it's a little bit of a joke, but I mean, hey, he's that guy. Let's be honest.
What
He
did
is still young.
I
but-
saw a meme where it was that quote, and then like the My Career thing, it was fans plus 1,000, team chemistry minus 10% from that comment. Like but yeah. I mean that's our top 10 shooting guard list. You want to go through, go down from 10 to 1 on who you had, and I can close my notes up by accident. Oops.
I accidentally did the exact same thing.
So I'll do mine. I'll start at 10. At 10, Dante DiVincenzo. 9, Austin Reeves. 8, Desmond Bane. 7, Derek White. 6, DeJounte Murray. 5, Scotty Barnes. 4, Kyrie Irving. 3, Anthony Edwards. 2, Donovan Mitchell. And number 1, Devin Booker.
On mine, I have Austin Reeves at 10, DiVincenzo at 9, Desmond Bane at 8, Scotty Barnes at 7, DeJounte Murray at 6, Derek White at 5, Kyrie Irving at 4, Devin Booker at 3, Donovan Mitchell at 2, and Anthony Edwards at 1.
And shout out Zach LaVine. Most seasons he'd be here, probably in the middle of the list, anywhere between like 6 and like 5 and 7, I'd say. Usually Zach LaVine finds himself in, but he only played like 20-some games this year. There's a very good chance he might be on a different team next season, so we'll see what that means for Zach LaVine, and maybe he finds his way. But I'm sure he's gonna, just with some of the people on this list, I think just any version of Zach LaVine is gonna be better than a couple of these guys. So I can assume Zach LaVine's gonna be on this list next year for the both of us.
Oh, 100%.
And is there any other players we talked about? Zach LaVine, Desmond Bane's obviously on this list, but the games were low.
I believe you said it earlier, but we are classifying Jaylen Brown as a 3 and
Yeah, Paul George is a
Tatum
3.
Paul George is a 3 and then Tatum as a 4.
Oh yeah, that's for a couple episodes down. Yeah.
Yep. Speaking of that, tune in next week on Wednesday for the small forwards, for the small forward top 10.
Hell yeah, brother. I'm trying to think. Is there any other shooting guards though that were like blanking on honorable mentions? Tyler Hero, I guess, could be an honorable mention if I get that out. Oh my god.
I mean, maybe Klay Thompson? Or are you negating that?
I don't know. Like he was pretty decent when he went to the bench, but like I don't know. And I think he's gonna be small forward next year, so we'll figure that out.
Malik Monk.
Runner
up for the 6th man.
Yeah, Malik Monk definitely maybe could have found his way on this list over a guy like Dante and Austin Reeves. Maybe. That's a good honorable mention. That's a good honorable mention.
Like we said at the beginning, or we talked about earlier, the bottom 3-4 guys, you can argue for who you want there. You know what I mean? If someone wasn't on the list, you could argue for them to be on the list, the order. But these are our lists, and this is what we think.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much you summed it up pretty well with that. Anything else you want to talk? There's one more thing I want to talk about before we get up out of here. But is there anything you want to hit on?
I believe shout out to Angel Reese for breaking the WNBA double-double record.
Yeah.
And shout out to Caitlin Clark for, I believe, being the youngest WNBA player to get a triple-double.
Shout out to the W.
And the first one since 2022.
I saw the graphic of those all-star votes. It's nuts. Last season, A'ja Wilson led with 90-some thousand, and then this year, I think Caitlin Clark leading it with 900,000.
That's insane.
And A'ja Wilson was still get 600,000-700,000. I think it's just to look at it purely from that perspective. It is crazy to go from not even the number one person didn't even have 100,000 to now the top 5 have all over 300,000-400,000. It's the W's getting there. I know the report came out that they're still not going to make money this season, but we all knew this is a long-term project. This wasn't going to happen in year one. You know what I mean? The league wasn't going to turn around in year one, but it's going to take a couple years like this. And hey, the W's, they'll be okay. This is a big time for them, and I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, and I feel like with the rookie class that came out with Caitlin Clark, with Angel Reese, with
Cam Brink,
with all these great players coming out of this draft, I feel like this is kind of like the look at me now, and I feel like they're marketing this good. And obviously, it's going to take maybe another 2 to 5 years to be profitable, but I feel like the future can really only go up from here.
Yeah, they're gonna. And again, you keep having these young women college players come out, and it's the league's just gonna keep growing and growing. And yeah, no, give the W some time. This is a big year for them. It's a great step in the right direction.
100%.
So the thing I want to talk about before we get out of here does take a half step away from sports. Okay, I made a post on Twitter about it, but I just kind of want to address it here about all the stuff going on with Sketch. So what was that, 2 or 3 days ago, a bunch of YouTube video came out, stuff got leaked all over Twitter that this guy thought that this gay OnlyFans content creator was Sketch, and they posted a bunch of videos from like that content and pictures, and for like a day or so, Sketch just had nothing, didn't say anything about it. There was no response to it. The leaks got all over Twitter, and a lot of people were like making comments about him, and like just a lot of comments about him. And then Sketch comes out, goes on live, and admits that it was him. He was the one in those videos. He did make that kind of content, and he said that what had happened was, or at least again his version was that it was I think he said 2 years ago, and that he was in a dark place. He was dealing with addiction, and it kind of led him down the road to do that kind of thing for money. But that he's now a changed man. That's not him anymore. He's a changed man, and that like he always knew that was going to come out. And then he also made the comment that he was hanging out with FaZe Clan that night when everything broke, all the news broke. He was hanging out with FaZe Clan, and when the news broke, all this stuff came out that like he immediately left the FaZe house and went straight to the airport. Like, I know the iconic picture you guys have probably seen now where he didn't even put on his glasses, didn't even put his shoes on. He just got up and walked out of the house straight to the airport when the news broke. Didn't say anything to anybody. And then FaZe Banks was the one that texted him and was like, hey, no, like, it's okay. Like, come back to the house. Let's talk about it. So he comes back to the house, and then Sketch goes on to say that, like, if it wasn't for FaZe and them, that, you know, if he was home alone with nobody else, that he might have, quote unquote, called it quits, is I guess the safe way to say that on YouTube.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know, a lot of streamers and a lot of people in the internet have came to his defense, and it's like, dude, it's not a big deal. It's okay. Like, we make mistakes. Don't worry about it. We're all here for you. But there's a select decent side of the internet and people that are turning on Sketch for this kind of thing. And, you know, it's a shame because, listen, we're in 2024. I understand maybe you don't agree with the idea of homosexuality, but why does it matter to you to have to go on the internet and bully this man into almost committing suicide? Like, I guess it's just, for me, I just struggle. Like, I have some family members that are gay. It's like something it's never ever bothered me. If that's how you are, it literally does not bother me. I'm not going to judge you, treat you any differently because of your sexual preference. And that goes for any type of like preference like that. And it's like, I guess it's like, this is a guy that has made millions of people laugh for the past year or so since he really kind of broke out. And now a lot of his fans are turning on him and saying that they'll never watch him again. He's not allowed back in their household because of that kind of thing. And it's just like, if you thought he was funny a month ago, why is he all of a sudden not funny now just because he's gay? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'm just going to put this very bluntly, and why does it matter what he does in his free time?
Mm-hmm.
If he wants to go when he's not streaming and he's not on camera, as long as it's nothing illegal, right? Yeah. What does it matter what he freaking does?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If he wants to if he wants his partner to be a male, female, non-binary, whatever it is, that's on him. That's his personal life.
Yep.
It shouldn't affect the content he puts out. Sketch is a funny ass guy. What's up, brother? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter if the content is funny. Watch it and laugh. You know what I mean? It shouldn't matter what he does unless it's illegal. Preface that. Unless, you know what I mean? It shouldn't matter what he does or what he did. You know what I mean?
And you I mean, I'm glad you said it that way. As long as it's not illegal. Why are people more mad at Sketch than they are for Dr. Disrespect messaging a minor?
Or countless NBA players or just professional sports athletes doing certain things to their loved ones.
I saw the thing that apparently the NFL deleted all their pictures that had Sketch in it because of the controversy. Are we serious right now? How many players in the NFL have they posted on their page? Tyreek Hill is one of the best receivers in the league. All the shit came out that he beat his wife and kids, and he still gets posted on the NFL Instagram account, the Twitter account. All these players, same with the NBA. You know, one of the main guys with the domestic violence just got signed back to the Charlotte Hornets. Like, why is him being gay a bigger deal than somebody messaging minors or somebody beating their wife and kids?
I don't know. I really don't know.
It's just, it baffles me. And again, if you don't agree with that lifestyle, I ask you, one, why does it even matter to you? And two, even if it bothers you, dude, he's not affecting you in the slightest.
Yeah.
And I see some people like, oh, like, again, this fucking dumbass Sneeko. I don't even know if you know who Sneeko is.
I do.
And he's making comments that, like, you know, people shouldn't be supporting him. They're just PR trading supporting him. You know, he called him the F word, like the gay.
Yep.
It's just like, first off, that guy just goes out there and just tries to farm content, so you can't even really take that kind of thing seriously. Just farms.
He does it for clicks.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, and he was like made a comment that like pushing it on to kids. In what world have you ever watched Sketch and went, oh, he might be gay?
And to that point, it's like he did that. How many years ago?
It was like 2 or 3 years ago, I think he said.
It never came out. He never said anything about it. He doesn't push an agenda. He literally plays video games, does, I believe, some IRL stuff, and he's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never seen a single clip of Sketch where he's pushing gayness on anybody.
I don't think Sketch has ever pushed an agenda.
No, period. Honestly, yeah. Honestly. It's just like, and again, and he made the comment that he found God, he's a changed man, so maybe, like, I don't even know if he is gay. He made a comment that he had deal with addiction. He could have been doing that shit for money to fund his addiction. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know whether he's gay or not, it really doesn't matter. Like, that's some shitty, like, addiction's a shitty thing, and it makes you do horrible things. So it's like, he might not even be, you know what I mean? He might not even be gay. He just might have been doing it for, yeah, you know, people make the jokes that $20 is $20, but then they get pissed off when somebody actually does it for $20.
Yeah.
You know? but I don't know.
I mean, like, from what you're telling me and from what I understand, he was under addiction. Mm-hmm. He was in that threshold. I'm just glad that he got out of that and he's found something in his life and found something that he enjoys.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Now, up until this point, because now everyone's got to act like, pardon my French here, but everyone's got to act like a freaking asshole. Instead of just leaving it alone, everyone has to tear it open and degrade him for no reason.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shitty situation, man, and I feel bad for him. Because I remember a while ago that he accidentally revealed his own name in that one. He was with Moose Critical, and I think he was with a professional player. He accidentally said his name, and he made a comment. He's like, "Oh, that's my name." It's like, it's all out there now, or something like that. And it's like, I think at that moment he realized, like, he knew it was going to come out eventually, especially once his real name got leaked. I don't know, like, but he also made a comment that, like, it's weight lifted off his shoulders now, that it's out there. He doesn't have to worry about it in his past anymore. And that's the best way to look at it. It's like, listen, man, you're going to deal with some hate. You're going to deal with some dumbass people that are just so close-minded and just hate the hate. But now you don't have to worry about that anymore. That's not a skeleton in your closet anymore.
Yeah, now it's out there, and this is like, he can just continue living with what he's going to. And
he's seen now probably hundreds of streamers that he's made friends with come out to his support. He's seen thousands on thousands of fans come out to his support. Like, he knows a lot of people are here for him. And again, like, it's a shitty thing that he has to go through, but I think he really found out who his true friends are.
100%. It's usually, like, quote unquote, at your lowest.
Yeah.
After you hit your high, it's at your lowest, and when you find out who your real friends are.
I agree. But that's what I want to say about that. Do you have any more comments about that?
Nope.
I know we try to avoid getting into stuff deep like that, but it's just, like you said, Sketch is such a good guy. He's so funny. And the discourse has been so disgusting around his name. And I just feel like, you know what, even if not a lot of people see this, I feel better knowing that our word about it is out there. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But yeah, no, that's going to do it, man. I advise you guys, please go check out my YouTube, Cloud2K, obviously basketball content. College Football 25 is coming out in exactly 10 days. It's the 19th, right? I believe it's the 19th. So
Yep.
10 days until that comes out. So I'll have content on that. Madden's kind of going away for a while.
As of right now, as we're recording, it's 9 days, 6 hours, and 2 minutes.
All right, there you go. So you guys, we look forward to that. Did two police simulator videos. Oh my god! And then I recorded a GTA video. See how that kind of does. That'll come out within a week or so. So yeah, man. Do you have anything you want to shout out?
Not right now. Not right now.
Well, that'll do it for this episode of Time Out with J&G, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.